crazy how the topic of watching my mother confront herself fell into my spirit, because I was really sitting there like, God, I don't know what I want to talk about. Like, a time to heal motherhood. Like, I'm not a mother. I don't really know what I want to say. My mother just kept saying, it'll come to you, it'll come to you. And I'm like, okay, Mom, it's like 3 days before, it's not coming to me. I don't know when it's going to come. Like, so it dropped in my spirit, and I said, watching my mother confront herself. And I said, wow, God. And I sat back and I thought about that. And I said, the same way that I watched my mother go through her trials and tribulations as a teenage mother is the same woman that I watched surrender her life unto God and become who God created her to be. Come on. It's okay to get teary-eyed, because I might get teary-eyed. And watching my mother confront herself, I remember being the little girl. First off, I just want to start off by saying that any mother in here, if you think that your child is not watching your every move, I'm going to tell you right now that your child is watching your every move. Regardless if they act like they're not, I promise you, they have more traits in them of you than you think that they do. So I remember being a little girl, and I remember growing up and seeing my mother being a single mom. It didn't really dawn on me that my abandoned father wasn't in my life. It wasn't until about the age of 9 when it really set on me that I didn't have a father figure. But not just him being there, but watching my mother cry, watching my mother, you know, hang around the men on the verge of being hood. You know what I'm saying? I remember hearing my mother talk to my grandfather and her saying she didn't have money to buy us Christmas gifts, or she couldn't pay the water bill. We had to take showers with the pot in the bathtub, and you know, it's different stuff like that. And I didn't realize what we were going through at the time, but just watching her sacrifice everything for us, but still be that mother in the time. But at the same time, I could still feel the pain at 12 years old behind her. She would be telling me one thing, but in my heart, I could feel something's wrong with my mom. But at 12, you don't know how to communicate that to your mother, but you just feel it. And she would always say, oh, it's not in the budget, or we don't have the time for that. But in the back of my head, I could feel something in me, like something just doesn't seem right, right? And I remember times of when we lived with our cousins for a while, and I was 9 years old taking care of like 7 kids, and my mom would be out at the club, you know, and not to bash her or anything, but it's just the little stuff that you kids catch on to that you watch that your mother is doing and stuff. Or the times where I would hear my mother, you know, crying or talking about my father on the phone and saying negative stuff about him, and I didn't realize how much he really wasn't in my life until I would hear my mother communicate. I would hear her struggle. She doesn't have the money. He's not paying child support. And with me hearing that come out of her mouth, I would go around my father and he would be talking to me, and I'm like, I don't respect you. You don't even pay child support. But you know, I'm 13 years old with a grown mouth because I'm listening to what my mother says. You know what I'm saying? So I would just, my disrespect grew, but my disrespect grew from on him, but it also grew to my mother too, because what is it that you did of why he's not here? You know what I'm saying? And I had to get real with myself. I didn't understand that I also had resentment towards her as well, but not just towards my father, because I didn't see the full picture of what it was, of what was happening in my life. So watching her confront herself was a journey, but when she came to the place of surrender, and I'm going to tell y'all one thing that I teach everyone, okay? Everyone wants to give you tips on how to become a better woman, how to become this, how to become that. Let me give you the first point, okay? The first point to ever healing yourself is to surrendering. And when I say surrender, I mean surrender unto God. I'm not just talking about, oh, I know God, like, you know, like we grew up together when we was 5. No, I'm talking about surrender. I'm talking about the surrender where now you stop having sex before marriage. You're practicing celibacy. I'm talking about surrender where your lustful thoughts are out of your head. I'm talking about surrender where your thoughts become God's thoughts. I'm talking about your surrender where your mind becomes God's mind. I'm talking about your habits becomes his habit. That's the type of surrender that I'm talking about.
Right.
But it wasn't until I saw her surrender who she was and become a completely different woman, and watching her do that, I said, wow. This teenage mother who was so broken, watching everyone leave her, Nobody believed in her. Not her brothers, her sisters, her mother. Everyone would talk bad about her. And watching that, but for her to just blossom into this beautiful butterfly, it was the generational curse that she broke. And she paved the way for me to now step into who I am at 24 years old. She's 40 and she's just now finding her purpose. I'm 24 and I found my purpose. Come on, man. When I had my daughter, right? When I had my daughter, she gonna be 2 years old with her But watching her step into who God created her to be, it was like, wow, now I can do this. And it's like she can pave the way for me, but when you get to the gates of heaven, you can't bring your daughter. Come on, that's right. She has to find her own purpose. That's right. So you can only heal yourself and help her to heal her, but I had to get to the point where I had to dig my own ditch. I had to find my own pain. And yes, she had her own pain, but me and her pain were completely different. My pain was coming from men and not respecting men, and my abandoned father, and not knowing how to respect people, and not loving myself, and not thinking I was good enough, and why I attempted suicide at 16 years old. My mother never even knew about that story until I released it, right? But this is the type of stuff that goes behind closed doors, because I feel like I can't talk to her about so much because she already has a lot going on. You know, we can't put that pressure on my mama right now because she already has too much going on. So who do we run to? Who do we call? Who do we talk to? And now I feel like I'm bottled up because she already has this, and now I have all this anger and this doubt and this fear and this anxiety and this pain built up in me. And my God, how do I release it? And the question we always ask ourselves is the question of how. God, where do I start? How do I even uproot it out of my system? And the first thing he told me was surrender. And I had to go back and I had to relive that pain as a little girl when my father left. I had to relive that pain when my father physically abused me. I had to relive that pain of all the nasty stuff he said to me. That pain that I saw in my mother, I had to relive that, because what I did was I took on my mother's pain onto myself. But not realizing that, oh, it wasn't really your pain, it's really my pain.
I set the timer. Fair.
But girl, I lost track. We're gonna start from right here. So I'm gonna give y'all 5 things that I admired about my mother when she was going through her journey, and it was actually my faith. I based it off of her. She doesn't know this until right now, but my All Girls Mentoring Program called Phenomenally Made is based upon the one word faith. Okay, faith stands for 5 things. The first one is forgiveness. And let me tell y'all, this first one right here, if you don't get through this, you can't even touch the rest of them.
So good.
And forgiveness is one of the hardest things. Forgiveness was one of the things where I was 23 years old, staring at myself in the mirror. Looking that little 9-year-old girl in the mirror and saying, I forgive you for thinking you weren't good enough. I forgive you for thinking you had no place here on earth. I forgive you for thinking you were never loved. And when I said it, I didn't even know who I was talking to. People think that you're just supposed to forgive yourself one time. No, I had to keep saying, you said, you know what, I'm going to keep saying it until it sets in to where I needed to set in my heart, because when I'm saying it, I don't even know who I'm looking at in the mirror. So I kept repeating it in myself, and I said, you know what, no, I got to keep repeating this thing every single day until I finally get it, right? So the one thing you have to do is you have to forgive yourself, and the reason why you still have resentment and pain towards other people is because you have not fully forgave yourself yet.
That's good.
And I always tell people that I had to change the Father within me before I could actually change my Father. Because he's still a part of me.
That's right.
So his habits and whatever he was going through, it's in me. But I had to change that within me first before I can even go to him and try to change him. See, first I had it flipped. I was trying to change him and it wasn't working. I said, oh, I can't do that no more. Now it's time I just change me. And when I change me, now I can go to him from a different perspective and understand that he too, his same father abandoned him. So it's just a cycle.
Yes.
Somebody got to break the cycle. And I said, God, I'm going to be the willing vessel to break that
That's
cycle.
good.
I'm not taking this on with my marriage or my kids. Just stop right here and right now. But I had to get to that healing point. So now, the next time that I do go to my Father and have a face-to-face conversation, it's going to come from a love and understanding that I found within myself first.
That's so good.
And now he has no choice but to respect and love who I am, and it will heal him as well.
That's right.
So the second one in faith is accountability. Accountability also goes into your mindset. I tell people that your current experiences are only manifestations of past emotions.
Yeah.
Come with it, girl.
Okay? So your current experiences are only manifestations of your past emotions. Nobody created your lifestyle but you. You cannot blame it on anyone else. It's time for you to take accountability of your own actions and your own mindset. You created the exact position that you're in today through your mindset. I don't care what your story is. We all got a story. We all have pain and hurt, but you got to wake up, right? The devil will push you back, right? He'll be all up in your face and you backed up in the corner, but when you going to get up and fight back?
Come on now.
That's what I'm asking, because we all can fight, but can you win? Because with God, my God is a winner. He's undefeated.
Come on
you
now.
got him, you already overcame that situation. So all I need you to do is I need you to get up and start fighting back, because the enemy's trying to push you back, but with God now it's, you got to fight back. Come on. Y'all don't know, it's somebody else up under this prettiness, okay? They're too pretty.
This chick is wild. This chick is wild.
But so you have to take accountability for your own actions, and you have to actually think back, well, what did I do? What did I cause? What can I fix about me? Stop trying to change other people. You cannot change other people. Your only goal in life is to unbecome who you were, to become who you are through God.
Come on now.
And you're going to continue
Gotta throw my
unlearning
tissue.
and relearning new habits and new mindsets. Okay? I also want to tell you that every season in your life requires a different version of you. You cannot take the same person.
You better come with it now.
Say that thing. You cannot take the same person you were last season into your new season. And it dawned on me, I was looking out the window one day and the Holy Spirit said, look at the trees. And I said, okay. And I'm looking at the trees and I see one tree was naked, the other tree had beautiful leaves on it. He said, see, they're in different seasons. But let me tell you one thing about the tree though. It don't matter what season you in, because the trees are so deep down rooted.
You better come on.
That when you get anchored into God, it don't matter what comes your way. It doesn't matter what storm you go through. If you deep in it with him, you already overcame and you can't move. God is your anchor, period. You still I went on top, but that's okay. But all I'm going to say is that every season requires a different version of you. So some of your seasons might be dry, but just know that that season don't last a lifetime.
Come on with it.
Right? Because eventually you're going to have to blossom and become who God created you to be. You don't
That's
have
so
no
good.
choice. Change is inevitable. So you have to get on board or you're going to be left behind.
Come on now.
Say that.
The third one in faith is inspiration. When I talk about inspiration, I talk about visualization. I visualize my life and my house and all of that at 9 years old. Okay, and everybody has different visions of how they want their life. There's nothing wrong with how you want your life to play out. Everyone wants different things, but if you don't have a vision of what it is that your next step is going to be, you're going to be stuck with where you are because you don't even have a thought of where you're trying to go.
Come with it. Come with it.
The third,
That's mama's
or
baby.
the fourth one is, how you spell faith? Thankfulness.
With a T. Give me a T. T. You got your T. You got your T.
Thankfulness. You got your T. Thankfulness. And thankfulness I really got from my mother, and that is the gratitude for what you have right now.
That's right.
If you can't appreciate what you have right now, you will never know how to appreciate what God is going to give you.
You gotta
And
come.
let me tell you something. You got to appreciate your little. Because your little is really big in God.
Come on now.
Your little is really big in God. So appreciate what you have, which is your little. The fifth letter in faith is H, which is honor. I struggle with this one. Honor. And when I say honor, I'm talking about not just honoring yourself and your friends. I'm talking about honoring those people who disrespect you. I'm talking about honoring those people who you know have talked about you, but you're still loving to them. Because
That's so good.
God is teaching us how to love everyone who is different and forgive them. When I come to God on my hands and knees, I said, God, I come to you on behalf of everyone connected to me and all of my energies. Forgive them, for they may not know. Some people just don't know.
That's good.
They just don't know, and
That's
everyone
good.
has a past life. We all have that past life that we live, and we are not rebirthed into a new life until we fully surrender and we become a new creation within God. But some people just not know. We all had that ignorant life.
Yes.
We all did dumb stuff. So you can't judge them for not knowing, but what you can do is you can pray for them and ask God to have grace on them.
That's good.
Okay. So we have faith. Yeah, so faith is the 5 things that I learned from my mother. And those are the 5 things that I started with when it came to my own healing journey. And watching my mother heal herself. My own healing journey has not been easy. Let me tell y'all another thing that I would ask y'all to do. Please, please, please. This has been my biggest thing. Is grab a journal and write your thoughts.
Yep.
I have been journaling since I was a little girl. Let me tell y'all something. 2 years ago, I wrote my purpose down. 2017, I was just journaling my thoughts, and I said, I don't know why I wrote it, but I had put All Girls Mentoring Program and covers of billboards and magazines and this and that, all this stuff down. And 2 years later, I manifested what was in that journal.
Yep.
Unknowingly, I didn't know that that was going to be my purpose. But we all think that we're always going to remember certain thoughts in our head. We have millions of thoughts that come in our head daily. You have to empty that out on a daily basis. When you wake up in the morning, empty it out. At night before you go to bed, empty it out. Get it out. Because I promise you, you're going to go back to that journal and you're going to look at some of that stuff in your journal. You can be like, dang, I accomplished that, or dang, I healed from that, or dang, you know what I'm saying? So it will literally help you in your healing journey. So journaling will be the other advice that I would give. And I just want to say that honestly, for every mother that is in here, I don't know how y'all did it, but I but I really want to say that I am extremely, extremely proud of every mother that is sitting in this room. Because I'm 24 years old, and I went through a lot of trials and tribulations and fear and doubt and anxiety, and I couldn't even do it for 23 years. And I sit here and I look at these women and I said, if I had this much pain at 24 years old, I can't imagine how a woman who are in their 40s, 30s, 50s, 60s, how much pain you have, and you have yet to still find your own. So I applaud you for even coming this far, but what I do want to do is I want to challenge you, because you don't have, the clock is ticking, okay? That's right. And all God wants you to do is fulfill his purpose on this earth. He don't care about your house. He don't care about the clothes on your back. He don't care about none of that. All of that is extra. Your husband is extra. Your kids is extra. All of that is extra. Did you fulfill your purpose on this earth?
That's good.
Tomorrow is not promised.
That's right.
Which means tonight you need to be going home and writing down what it is, finding your pain and turning your pain into purpose. Tomorrow is not promised. Stop thinking that you have a month from now. All you have is the now.
That's right.
And that's all you have, period. So all I'm going to tell you is that stop pushing off those things that you know deep down within you that God is telling you to do. Stop pushing it off. It is time for you to step into the next version of you and step into the next level of life, because God is waiting on you, and someone in this room, someone needs you.
That's good.
Everyone's story.
Say that.
Everyone's story. Everyone's story. What am I trying to say?
Somebody in this room needs you.
No. There are millions of people in this world who need to hear your story. That's what I'm trying to say.
That's good.
Your story is geared to a specific group, so don't think that you're just exempt, or maybe you don't have the same pain that I have. Everyone has a different story, but somebody needs your story.
That's good.
And if you don't fulfill your purpose on this earth, there's going to be a void in this earth, and that just leaves it up to us, the kids that are still on this earth. Now we got to fight the Goliath, because you didn't fulfill your purpose. You giving them? Yeah, I'm coming to everybody.
Yeah, I see.
But seriously, that's how it goes. There's a void in this earth. So don't think that we still don't need help. We still got homeless people on the street. We still got abandoned kids. We still have suicide happening. There is still work that needs to be done. And if you don't do